Hi, I'm Rob Hoyton from Dragon's Teeth Gaming Channel. Thanks for joining me for today's chat. Now, whether we're building terrain or we're painting or we're constructing a model or even sometimes just reading, we need decent light. We need to be able to clearly see whatever we're looking at. So I thought today I'd just look at some of the things I use for magnification and for light. We'll start with the real basic, the Mark 1 eyeball, because there's rarely been, I think, a better example of fine engineering. It does an amazing job. However, it is subject to the ravages of time, and having hit 60, I found, well, in fact for the last year or so, I found that I need reading glasses. I found this out a while back after being in the supermarket one day and having a packet of whatever it was up to here trying to see what the sell-by date was. So I bit the bullet, bought myself some cheap reading glasses, and I do use these quite a lot for reading and often for painting as well. These are magnification 1, so there's our first bit of kit. Very simple. These you can get online, I think, you know, a few quid. I normally buy 2 or 3 pairs because inevitably I leave a pair somewhere and I never know where they are. And of course your magnification can go up to 3, 4, whatever, I'm guessing. I normally use 1, as I said. I have ordered a couple of pairs of 2.5 as well for that sort of in-between bit. So here I can see if I'm painting terrain, this is not a problem. If I'm painting 28mm, I'll probably use these. For anything smaller, then, or for fine detail, I'm probably going to use stronger glasses. So that's the first bit of kit. Now the second bit of kit is something I bought a while ago, and this is Delixk, I think is the manufacturer. So this is a magnifier, obviously, but it's also a lamp as well. So we've got LED lights built into there. You can change the brightness on those a little bit, you can vary those a little bit. This costs 30 quid, again I bought it online, and this seemed like the answer to all my problems. The magnification on this is 5, so this is pretty strong. However, what I found was, yes, if I bring something up to here, so there's my GoPro camera, that's great. I can read all the small writing on the front here, I can see every single detail, and if I've got that lamp on as well, of course that's only going to make things clearer. However, if I turn this around a bit, look how close I have to hold that to the lens. If I bring it back here, then it goes quite blurry. I get a little bit of detail, but the rest of it is quite blurry. I think this is called the focal length, I could be wrong on that, but basically what is the distance you need to hold the object for it to be in good focus. So this is okay for some things, but if I'm doing really fine detail, even though that's highly magnified, if I have to hold something here, it's quite awkward to paint. Ideally I'm probably painting about this sort of distance, and I get, actually my fingernail there is in perfect focus, but this is very blurry. It's also a little bit difficult, I found, with this to judge the sort of depth of vision, so that will probably take a little bit of practice to get used to as well. So not totally useless. The lamp part is very good. The magnification maybe not so much. So I looked around for something else. Having done some research online for various types of visors and goggles, I settled for these. These are Best Dental binocular loupes. So used by dentists. These are the very low end of the market as far as dentistry is concerned. These were 26 quid. Now these are 3.5 magnification, and as you'll see we've got a pair of glasses, quite nice wraparound shades, so stylish as well as functional, and we have these 2 little sort of binoculars on the front. And now when I hold my camera again here, I've got perfect detail and focus. You can adjust these, of course. So it says on the blurb that the focal length for these is 420 millimeters, 42 centimeters, which I guess is about that distance. Now that for me is much easier for painting, or if I'm making stuff or doing something, I've got that space to work in. Also, the other thing I like with these is I can look up, I can look round, I can pick things up, I can read something, I can check my laptop, because that magnification only applies to that very narrow field of vision. One complaint with a lot of the visor types was that magnification is applied all round, and people were saying it's a bit like, you know, you're sitting in a hall of mirrors or something, everything's going like this. So this, so far, I've not properly tested these out yet, I only got them the other day, but on first inspection seem to be perfect for the job. 3.5 mag, 42 centimeter focal length, and these cost 26 quid, so pretty cheap. Obviously with this kind of kit, with any sort of professional kit, you can go up to paying hundreds of pounds, but these should do the job nicely. So we touched on lighting already there with the magnifying lamp, but what if I just want some lighting? This of course can be multi-purpose. It might be to light my work area, it might be for reading, it might be for filming, all sorts of reasons. Again, I've tried various things over the years. I've got some very big filming lights. They stand on tripods, they've got a screen on the front to soften the light. Very good if you want a general soft light for filming, but not so good for illuminating your workspace. So another bit of research online, and I found these. These are a pair, you get two in the box, a pair of LED lights. They come with various attachments. You've got a tripod, you've got an extending pole, you've got some fittings that mean you can swivel them as well. Now, we have a couple of tones on this, a kind of bluey light and a slightly softer light. And the other nice thing is we can adjust the intensity again. So that can go up to very bright, or we can bring it down a little bit. The other nice thing you get with these are what back in the day we used to call gels. I'm not sure if that is still the name, but basically these coloured bits of plastic which you just fit on the screen there, and that will give you your tone. So these would be very good also for providing ambient light in a background, for example, that kind of thing. For video lighting they're good, because I can set them up over here and they'll be bright enough to light the area. And if we're painting or whatever else in our workspace with that little tilt thing, we can have them right up close, shining down on whatever we're doing. So as I say, these were online. That was 30 quid for the pair, which I thought was good value given the strength of the light and all the options you have there. And then the last thing I got was this Lenkharter 12-inch selfie ring. This was quite cheap actually, this was 20 quid. So they're really designed for people who are filming on their phones. You put your phone in the bracket in there, but it works equally well with a video camera. And again, this will give you quite a nice fill sort of light if you want to light the background or you want to light the general space you're in. You can change the tone. I think there's 3 tones or colours on this, and of course you can change the brightness as well. So that's good for illuminating a general area, maybe not so good for a specific area because it is quite large, but you know, I can tilt all of this forward, so I can use it like this to light an area. But as you see, that is a little bit big, that one. However, if you wanted something in the background to fill that general space or your table space, then this will work very well. And at 20 quid, again, I think that's good value for money. So just to recap, we've gone from our Mark 1 eyeball, which we've reinforced with reading glasses. We've gone through my favourite, the dentist loupes. Again, I'm sure there are better but more expensive options available, but these seem to work well. We've got our selfie ring, we've got our pair of LED lamps on tripods, and we've got our magnifying light stand as well. Well, that concludes our run through. If you do have any other ideas or any other bits of kit that you use and you can recommend, then please do let me know in the comments below. I'm sure we all know the importance of all this stuff. This hobby is very visually intense, at least in the creating and painting stage, and of course you don't want to be hunched over by the light of a 40-watt bulb trying to paint your 15mm Napoleonics or whatever. It's not going to do your eyesight any good, and also it's going to be bad for your posture as well, because then we tend to be hunched over like this. With this kind of setup, I can sit up straight, I can keep my shoulders relaxed, and I can paint quite comfortably. You might even look at getting something to rest your arm on. I will be covering posture and what you sit on and how you sit in a future upload, because as I said, that's my day job, is fixing people's poor posture and helping them improve their health and well-being. Now, just before we go, as we've been speaking about focus, I have been aware that looking back, when I zoom in or go up close to models, there is a focus issue. I do have a macro lens for the GoPro, which I've been using. The problem is monitoring the picture, because you can either monitor the picture on a GoPro on the front here, as you can see there's a tiny little screen, or by looking through the back. So sometimes I can put the camera between myself and the model, but quite often I have the camera set up to the side and I actually use my phone as a monitor. Technology is wonderful, isn't it? This is Bluetooth, so I can control the camera from the phone and I get the picture. However, as soon as you press record on the GoPro, the picture disappears off the phone, so I can't see what I'm filming. I have looked into this and there is a workaround. I need to change the frame rate on the camera to something that's compatible with the phone, which is all a very long-winded way of saying hopefully in the future there should be no blurry focus issues. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Again, if you do have any recommendations or comments, please let me know below, and I'll see you next time.